Well, some of you called me out. You called me out on this aquarium right here, and I gave it some thought, and you know what? You were right. Accept my humble apology, and let's take another look at these fish with proper lighting, and let's do them the justice that that their color deserves, which they didn't really get in that last video because of lighting and using an iPhone 13 Pro Max, which was just getting overwhelmed a bit by some of the color combinations and the color saturation. So let's go ahead and take a real look at the fish in this aquarium. I think you'll like this look a lot more. So I've reconfigured the lights on top of the aquarium to give us a more even lighting throughout the tank, and also so that it shows more true color, which of course is going to come through because of the camera I'm using, which is not going to super saturate the way that Pro Max 13, and I'm sure that the iPhone has probably some settings that can be adjusted that either I have set incorrectly or I'm not aware of, that would give us a better a better look of these fish, because the Pro Max is considered a pretty good camera as far as cell phones go, but it's kind of hard to beat an actual video camera when it comes to true color. So let's talk a little bit about the fish. Here's your Venusis, member of the Nimbochromis family, notoriously aggressive, but this one is a bit of a mellow dude. He's not really that aggressive at all. Very content just to drift around. Fusco, another Nimbochromis, who is growing much faster than that Venusis, but also a bit mellow. Somebody commented about the aggression of these African Cichlids, and when you do get a good combination together, like fortunately I have at the moment, which it can change. For example, when this one here, this Malawi trout, fires up, gets that darker anal fin and a darker lower body, and starts to build a nest, he can get a little aggressive and get everybody corralled into the side of the aquarium. So that's a Malawi trout. He can get as big as 14 inches or longer. Bucochromis rhodesii yellow, just an absolutely beautiful fish. And we have here what we call a sand diver. He will literally disappear in the sand if he's startled. I caught it on film once. It's in one of my old videos. But he will completely disappear in the sand and just have a fin showing, or maybe just his eye sticking out of the sand. It's actually kind of hilarious when he does it. This beautiful guy right here is a Bucochromis spectabilis. Similar markings to the Kawingi. And this is the Kawingi here. You can see the way each one of the scales seems to have its own color pattern. One of my favorite cichlids, and no matter how effective I am here in photographing it, it's never better than in person. Here's a tangerine tiger, beautiful tangerine tiger, almost an orange in the body, beautiful blue face. And some of you commented how you like the South Americans more because the Malawis tend to be too much over into the blue, and it's true, there is a tremendous amount of blue in the Malawis, but it really is a beautiful blue. And it comes in different shades, different levels of intensity. You can see the gar back there with that very unusual mouth right there in the back center, digging away in the substrate. The Malawi gar has that mouth because it allows him to get between rocks when he hunts for fry. He is definitely a predator hap, and in the wild will consume a lot of Mbuna fry who are hiding among rocks. Here's the first cousin of the Eyebiter, the Strigatus. You can see it even has a little bit of an Eyebiter shape, but just not the real extreme slope in the forehead. There's a turquoise hap. Beautiful fish, beautiful shape. A close up of that mouth. Beautiful metallic color on that sand diver. There's a bit of a metallic color to the speckles on the, I guess you call it maybe spangles on the top of his body. Little Eyebiter that is actually a peacock, one of the smaller peacocks, and somehow he's surviving in here. That's about as big as he's going to get, and he's probably about 5 inches, just to give you an idea of how big the other fish are. But he's a beautiful fish and somehow has managed to survive and get along in this aquarium without experiencing you know, too much harassment. Beautiful colors. That wide band runs from the top to bottom behind the gills. There is a red shoulder peacock that has a similar coloration, except there's a red stripe. That's also a very pretty fish. I had one of those in California. So I think I got them all. I certainly would like to add some more fish to this collection. Perhaps a Nimbochromis linni. Another Autopharynx tetrastigma. So there are a few fish that I will be adding at some point. Oh, well, there's the Malawi hawk. I don't think I mentioned the hawk. The Aristochromis. Aristochromis, he's from aristocracy because he looks down on everybody. He will position himself directly above a fish and then turn on his side and give him a side glance before diving down to eat him. Very interesting hunter. They were just fed, as you can tell by all of the scavenging and sifting in the substrate. They were just fed. Do you have a favorite in this tank, or do you think that there's a particular fish that I should add to this collection? Let me know. Here comes that beautiful Fusco. Just a stunning fish. Every one of these cichlids were from the Cichlid Shack in Tempe, Arizona. Every one of them is a stud. And I hope that this filming of them, I hope this did them justice. So I hope you enjoyed that a lot more than that last video where the blues were sort of super saturated, and after I looked at that video I thought to myself, yeah, they're right, there's that's not true color. So I hope this captured a little bit more of a true color of these African cichlids, and just how beautiful they are, and how it's not an overwhelming blue. It's a very beautiful subtle blue, and I hope I was able to capture it this time. Instead of using the Pro Max, using instead what's called a Sony A6400, which is just captures a better, a more true color on the fish. So there you have it. Thank you so much for your feedback. I do listen. You know I listen, and and I take it to heart. And very often, you know, it just is what it is. You're right, and I should have done a better job. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like to talk about fish, filters, water, everything else, media, you name it. Let's get together on Saturday for the Cichlids and Coffee live stream. That's every Saturday at 11 a.m. Central. And that's 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. And for those of you who'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a member of the Garage Gang. This is a garage. And become a Patreon monthly supporter. Starts for as little as $3 a month. Details are in the description under the video. Thank you, my friends. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.